Welcome back to Foodie Down Bronx. Next Stop Vegan is a Dominican-owned meal prep company that just opened up its first shop right here in the Bronx. I recently took a trip over. Let's check it out on this edition of Boogie Down Eats. All right, so as of this recording, I have 4 days left on my so-called vegan life. So I figured that my next stop should be Next Stop Vegan. So guys, I want you to check this out. I am several hundred feet away from Next Stop Vegan, and I hope the camera catches this, but there is a line inside. There is a lot of people here. I'm excited. All right, so I just left Next Stop Vegan, and to put it really simply, it was incredible. The patacon was incredible, the mushroom burger was incredible. This is exactly the kind of food that I look forward to having even when I go back to eating meat, because honestly, it's so flavorful. Everything was on point, awesome spot. Go visit Next Stop Vegan. Even if you're not a vegan, it doesn't matter. It just tastes good. Just go eat it. Please welcome to the show the founder and CEO of Next Stop Vegan, Blenlly Mena.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. Thank you for being on the show.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
Okay, so the reason I'm really happy that you are my only guest today is because you know I've been doing this 2 months vegan challenge.
Yes.
And I feel like now that we're here, it's a culmination of everything I've been through.
Yes.
And now I can talk to you about what it is to be a vegan,
Your
the things
journey.
that I've been through, my journey, your own journey.
Yes.
Of getting Next Stop Vegan on sort of its feet and
Yeah.
up and running, which I have to say, I applaud you for so much of what you've done.
Thank you.
I feel like, we met a little while ago. I think it's been less than a year than we've met,
Yeah.
but your progression from starting off at these night markets to now having a brick and mortar
Thank you.
is such an inspiring story to me. And you're literally one of the people that I thought about when I wanted to do this type of show, to, sort of give Bronx-based, food restaurants a platform. And so can you share with me a little bit of the story of Next Stop Vegan?
Yes, of course. It's my pleasure. Well, I believe I met you here at the studio
That was-
when
yes.
I did the Chimi with Rena.
That's
so,
right. That's
And I
right.
remember I saw your name and I was like, the Hungry Dominican. So it was a mutual, I guess, interest for both of us to kind of like meet each other.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my God, he has so many followings and he's Dominican and he's always hungry. I need to get him to Next Stop. So I'm grateful for this opportunity and thank you for considering us to be part of the
course,
show.
no, of course.
As you know, Next Stop Vegan cannot be what it is without my support team, which, my family, everyone knows this. My family is number one as part of this progression. But it originated all the way when I was in South Korea. I don't know if you learned about the history a little bit, but
I did. I learned about that on your Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I said to myself, I have to ask her about
yes,
that.
yes.
Tell me that.
So I was in Korea. Well, before, long story short, I don't want to make it too long, but I
Make it
moved.
as long as you want. I
Okay.
want to hear everything.
Hopefully you don't have to edit all this. But when I was probably in my 27s, I was getting ready to take a new journey. I wanted to embark in an international travel and just drop everything and go. I was working in corporate America, and I was kind of fed up with the New York rat race, the routine, the monotonous of just working in corporate America, especially in human resources. So I chose to want to apply to teach English somewhere in Europe, Central America. I don't know. I just wanted to get out of
Right.
New York,
Right.
Especially America in general. I was just sick of like the United States in general. And I chose to actually apply to a program in Italy. To make it very short, they didn't actually accept me, which is okay. A friend of mine provided me with an opportunity to go to Los Angeles. And I was like, I wanted to go away to actually, international affair, like any international countries, but I can definitely go to LA. It seems like a very cool environment.
Yeah.
Close to, I was gonna go work for a hotel close to the beach in Santa Monica. Kind of the lifestyle I was looking for.
Good
Yoga,
choices. Good choices right next to the
health
beach.
and wellness, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is totally my alley, my alleyway. So applied, got accepted within a week. I would say within 2 weeks, I already had gotten my offer letter, everything, and I had to notify my family. This is the first time, as you know, being a Dominican yourself, breaking apart from your family. It's a big deal for
a huge
Dominicans.
deal. It's a huge deal.
Especially going across the country.
Right.
Like maybe I'll go to Boston. It's fine.
Yeah,
Connecticut,
yeah.
Jersey, fine.
Maybe we have some cousins over there, so it's all good. Right, yeah,
Exactly. So telling my family I was going to LA, they were excited for me. No reactions where they were sad or upset, but when I actually moved, I left, it was like devastating. It's like someone passed away. Like my nephews and my niece were crying like someone died.
Right.
And I was like, guys, you could just take a flight, 6 hours,
No big
it's not that
deal.
serious.
It's no big deal. It's not that serious.
But I am so grateful I left because that opened up this avenue for veganism. Obviously, as a lot of people know, California, the West Coast in general was very vegan friendly,
Yeah.
very green, and just very hippie, really like just chill vibes, and that's what I experienced while living there. And that attracted me to a healthier lifestyle. However, since it was my first time moving away, I also was enjoying just eating out. So I gained a lot of weight.
Right.
I gained a lot of weight.
LA 50.
Like maybe 40, ish. And I applied for this weight loss program that a friend of mine, coincidentally, her sister was running, and she wanted to do like a YouTube, kind of like The Biggest Loser, but just on a YouTube series, kind of like every week, just have 6 candidates do the weight loss journey, and we're gonna work out, we're gonna eat well, and she's gonna train us through this process. I joined, I casted, I got into the program, and I'm like, okay, this is serious. 6 a.m. workouts every day, Monday through Friday, for 8 weeks.
I can't even imagine.
It was like crazy, but it was the best experience because the last 2 weeks was when she actually challenged us to do a raw food cleansing. So obviously at that point, I'm like, what is raw food? Like, is it salads and green? Like, what am I gonna eat? We don't know what raw
on the
food,
menu?
unless it's a salad,
Yeah,
tomatoes
right.
and, our Dominican lettuce, tomatoes, aguacate.
That's always
We
my
don't really
crutch.
know
That's
what
my biggest crutch. I'm
that's
like,
all-
this is healthy, no way, right?
Exactly.
This is what I need to eat. That's it.
like the balance in our plates, like
Right.
the salad on the side.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna eat that every day.
Right.
But then I learned, I embarked in this challenge. So I wanted to actually be the biggest loser. I wanted to win. So I went online. I started looking at recipes, etc. And then that's when the word vegan popped up because obviously if you're a raw food eating person, you are already a vegan.
Right.
You already have omitted, the animal products. You already have omitted the processed byproducts of any animal, So I was like, wow, veganism, what is this? And then, of course, started learning about the health benefits, watching documentaries, just reading up on it. YouTube was such a big hit for me, and also Instagram. I started hashtagging just vegan, vegan in LA or vegan in, whatever. And that was just bringing in all this other interest. And I was like, wow, this is something that I actually like. So as I was doing my recipes at home, I was posting it on my Instagram, and my friends or family or whomever was near me, they would be like, this is a great zucchini pasta, or raw things I would create, desserts, and I started to get very creative. My roommate at that time, she joined the challenge with me just to support me, and we both really enjoyed it. So much so that when the challenge was over, I actually decided to stay in that path. So what I said, when I went to the team, I was like, guys, everyone hated it. Everyone was
Really?
starving. Everyone hated. They didn't have like the, innovative creativity to like make up raw food.
So what did your menu consist of on a daily basis when you
Well,
were
I
on
will
the
probably
challenge?
have in the morning a smoothie. I'll make all sorts of smoothies. In the evening, I'll bring like salads, or for lunch, I'll bring salads. I'll bring raw zucchini pasta. I'll make I can't think of I just went so in that I was like, wow.
You dived like head first into it, right?
I dived so hard in it that I was like, this is awesome. And the way that I was feeling.
Yeah.
And I think that the one thing that I think we are intimidated by when we go into this challenge is this feeling deprived or feeling starved. You know, nobody wants to be hangry.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be, you know, missing their burgers and stuff.
No,
So they're
not at
like
all.
intimidated by any challenge. And for me, it was the total opposite effect. I was embracing what I was feeling. It was like a mental and a spiritual cleanse. I would wake up grateful. Like I don't, you know, obviously, and this is like me noticing what my body is responding to.
Yes, for sure.
And I was like, is it the lack of meat that is giving me this? Like, because I never felt this before. I have energy. I feel inspired. I feel motivated. I feel new. I feel younger. And all these things, my face was glowing. My colleagues and my boss would be like, girl, you looking good. You know, like they'll notice. I'll come in with a good mood, etc. So all of that actually made me want to go into it deeper. So after the challenge was over, I ended up doing the veganism in general. But now this time around, it's not raw. It's just vegan, which obviously, as you know, at this point, is cooked meals, et cetera, et cetera. But I had to learn to incorporate that into my lifestyle.
So then you didn't have any team members that were into it except you. You were like the
Just
one who like woke
myself.
up every morning and like annoyed everyone. Like, this is amazing. It's
I know.
incredible. And everyone's like, we hate you. Shut up.
6 a.m. meetups, they would be like so miserable, no energy. Of course, you know, you're hungry because your body's going through a big transition. So, you know, when you go to raw food, your energy level might drop at first. Some people might get energy, some people might lose energy.
Yeah.
In this particular case for my girls, the ones that were with me in this challenge, they were actually feeling really like low. They really were not enjoying this challenge. They were really seeking for help, and I was there to, you know, support, etc. But I was like, I was the annoying one. Yes, the one that's in class, like being the teacher's pet,
Super like peppy and stuff. Yeah.
and they would be like, "You're so annoying." But when we finished, I actually told them, I said, I guess I'm gonna become vegan. I think I'm gonna just cut out animal products.
So then you decided to continue with the vegan lifestyle.
Yeah.
After the challenge.
Yes.
So that's basically the beginning of how Next Up
Yes.
Vegan came, right?
Well, actually, it started in South Korea, which is where I was gonna go next.
Right.
So when I left LA to move to Korea, again, chasing that international drive, just
That's
to
so
live
amazing.
elsewhere, just getting to my 30s and really feeling stuck and not feeling happy and not feeling like my happiest, I guess. You know, I was in a point in my life that I'm like, I'm embracing living in LA. It's really fun. I got to bring many friends and family over to the West Coast because I was living there. I got to travel. I got to become very independent. I learned how to drive. I learned how to bike ride. Believe it or not, like the simple things, you know, roller skating, you know, living the LA life. And I was actually having a great time, but I still felt like I needed more. Like I needed to hit this whole, like I needed to hit this drive. Like that's it. Like this
So you
is
were really aware of like how, because I think back to a certain point in my life where I was doing all these fun things, things that I wanted to check off my list.
Yes.
But I wasn't fulfilled.
Exactly.
Right?
That was what I was feeling.
I wasn't,
I'm
like,
glad that you
really-
could relate because I feel like people would be like,
100%.
how dare you? LA was amazing for you.
No.
Like my family would be like, you were living your best life. And I'm like, I was, but.
I relate so much because I think for me, it's like for a long, long time in my life, I was very, I was happy, but I wasn't content.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
I wasn't doing the things that I really, and I just wanted to go for. And so I felt this weird vibe of like, I wake up happy, I'm a positive person, but there's all these things that I want to do.
Yeah.
And you actually got to do so many of these things.
Yeah. And what was your new beginning?
I think for me, well, when I turned 30, I had like the typical breakdown of like I'm at dinner with friends and I'm just like, oh, 30's great, and then like the tears started. I'm like, oh my God, I'm 30.
You're in a midlife crisis.
I'm hitting a midlife crisis, and I'm just like thinking, okay, I want to travel more. I want to have a platform, because even I wasn't even using Instagram then.
Yeah.
I just wanted to find a platform that I can dedicate to things that I was passionate about.
Yeah, which is food.
Which is food, you know. And I didn't, and I felt kind of stuck. And it was me not feeling as motivated as I was later on in my life. And so I wanted to do all these things, but I just didn't. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I felt like kind of like you. Like I knew there was something missing.
Right.
Something that I wanted to continue doing, as opposed to just having these fun moments and these things. Yes, but what else? What is going to make me happy?
Exactly.
Right? And I think that, you know, you came at it earlier in your life than I did in mine, but I think it's important for like people of our generation to understand that like our parents, so many of them gave up on their dreams.
Yes.
Right?
For us.
Or
Or for them, you know. But,
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's kind of those things where you're happy and you're content. They're happy that they did it,
Yeah.
but maybe they're not content because
Exactly.
the older you get, you're like, oh man, I could have done all these other things in my life. Just have it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like seeing someone of your age and of you being, you know, understanding that there is more to life than
Yes.
these certain things, I think is a
Indeed.
beautiful thing. Let's take a quick break.
Yes.
Guys, grab yourselves a snack. Foodie Down Bronx will be right back. Welcome back to Foodie Down Bronx. I'm your host, M, the Hungry Dominican, and I'm joined on set by Blenlly Mena of Next Stop Vegan. So we were talking about, you know, following our passions, knowing that, you know, there were things that we want to do in our lives,
Yeah.
right? So that led you to South Korea.
Yes.
So tell me everything about South Korea.
South Korea.
Day one to like the last day you were there.
And that was just, can you believe it, less than 2 years ago.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
So South Korea was amazing. One, because I was living in this very small village and I was the only foreigner there.
I have never heard anybody say that to me in the most earnest way. I was living in a small village.
You
and
don't
like
understand how enlightening that was, because that was like the vibe that I was looking for.
Yeah.
I guess that's what my calling was, to be alone and away from the distraction.
Mm-hmm.
The family, the friends, the traffic, the hustle, the bustle, you know, again, the corporate environment.
Yes.
So I was an English teacher then. So I applied to become an English teacher,
Mm-hmm.
random, go figure. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get paid for this. I'm going to whatever. And then whatever, 9 to 4, it's
Yeah.
fine. And as I was in Korea, the language barrier was obviously a very big issue for me. So to tell the waitress or the waiters that I was a vegan was extremely difficult. No one really understood, especially because I lived in a very small village.
Okay.
So everyone is still very old school. The mentality is still very, you know, dated. No one really knows what even vegetarian was. So in Korea, most of their dishes is either based with fish or broth.
Right.
Fish broth or beef broth. And even the soups or salads, everything has some type of fish something. The kimchi, which I learned later, 2 months after living there, I was eating kimchi all day thinking that it was vegan. And I find out it has fish. So I wanted to die. Anyways, go figure. And I am in Korea. I'm living my best life because I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. At first, of course, I challenged me. It was challenging, you know, not knowing where I was going, the language, etc. But the first time that I realized this is exactly what I wanted to do, be by myself, be in tune with me, I'm going to embrace this. I started cooking. I started going to the grocery stores and just buying a whole bunch of stuff, ingredients, everything that I knew was vegan.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, tofu, etc. And I started whipping out all these like crazy recipes, like just getting creative. I wouldn't even go on like recipes, like websites or anything. I would just like pop whatever.
It was
and
like instinctively you were doing it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was just like going and doing it and then posting it on my Instagram again. And that was another thing that started to like really recreate that whole passion. Now I have people counting on me because they're like, oh, she went to Korea, she's going to be miserable. And I was like, actually, no, look at me cooking by myself. So
It's like keep scrolling.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, look at me cooking in my kitchen, my little two foot. My kitchen was literally a 2 stove top because that's the Korean lifestyle.
Yeah.
My counter space was probably like less than maybe 2 foot, if I'm not exaggerating.
Wow.
The sink was super tiny, and I could go in details about my bed and how small
Oh
it
my
was. And I'm
goodness.
6 feet tall, so my lifestyle was very minimal.
Oh
and
my
I guess
goodness.
that's what I wanted to. My closet was like super tiny, minimalist lifestyle. I guess that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So through the whole cooking experience, I started to then cook on my YouTube. So I forgot to mention in LA, I started a YouTube channel. I followed it up in South Korea. And my friends got very inspired, my friends in Korea. And my friends in Korea are from Canada, you know, I mean, all parts of the world, New Zealand. Now I have all variations of new friends, you know, friends that are like from different parts of the world. I'm like, oh my God, it's so cool that I
Yeah.
have like friends from like Australia.
It's amazing how easy it is to connect with so many
Yeah,
people via social
exactly.
media. It's
Social
like
media.
it's like texting at this
Yes,
point, right?
indeed. And of course, I went in there with a group of other foreigners. We all went in a program. So you meet the first foundation of friends, and then
Right.
they start introducing you to other friends, and then you build that relationship. I learned that a lot of my friends were there for a few years, and they were tired of the Korean food. People got tired, you know, and it's like the same thing over and over. So they didn't know how to cook, and they would be like, "Hey, Blenlly, you know, we're having a get together. Do you mind bringing like one of those like dishes you make on your Instagram?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, sure. I'll bring my guacamole, and I'll bring, you know." And of course, I added my little Latin
Of course,
spices.
of
You know?
course.
I have my oregano from DR that my mom, you will believe me.
That's awesome.
Oregano from DR, and I had like a couple of seasonings that I knew that will give a Latin flair to everything that I cooked. And I would bring it and they'll love it. So then one of them started telling me, Sunil, his name is, and he was like, Blenlly, can you meal prep for me? I feel like I need to just like cleanse. I want to go into this vegan challenge. I like what I'm seeing from you. I'm enjoying the whole excurting through vegan restaurants in the city. Can we actually get that, you know, in my place? And I was like, yeah, sure. Backpacked all my seasonings. I went over to his house 2 hours away. We take the bus in Korea. And here I am cooking for him. My first experience, 13 hours cooking for Sunil.
13 hours?
13 hours. I went on a Saturday and we worked from 12 to like maybe 2 in the morning. Like we were just going at it. Like myself, of course, just cooking everything. Nacho this, nacho cheese, like just creating all these mashed potatoes with like beets and just creating all these crazy things. Like, he's like, this is amazing. Like this guy is from Canada. He has an Indian background. He never really seen like all his variations of flavors and things.
Right.
So then he promoted me on Facebook. And then I got another client. And every weekend I'm backpacking all around South Korea in buses.
That is really incredible.
Yeah.
So you're jumping around to people's homes to make them these vegan. That's wow.
And
that's
I'm staying over, like, because of course they know we're teachers, so we know that we cannot commute at certain times, certain bus schedules. So they would be like, you could stay over, it's fine. You know, you could totally crash, like it's fine. I'm like, okay. And me being New Yorker and trying to hustle, because I always wanted to have side money. I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, you pay the grocery, you got to pay me for the hours, and you're also going to let me stay in your place. and I'm
gonna stay right here.
Funny thing is that maybe 3 months into it, I started this business. Like it became It's Blenlly Catering. That was the name of my business then.
Right.
And then, long story short, I lasted 1 year in Korea, and my last month, my sister calls me. She tells me, Mommy needs surgery on her knee, her right knee. And I was like, what does that mean? Because I was trying to stay in Asia. Like, I was trying to go to Thailand next and actually continue to, like, travel. And because I was really enjoying myself out there. And she's like, you need to come back. You need to come take care of Mom. And I was like, oh, my God, that was like a crash call. Like, I was like, this is, like, the worst thing that could happen. I'm going to lose all of my inspiration. You know, like, I'm like, this is it. I'm going back to New York, to the Bronx. It's over. Like, I came this far to go back. Like, but then it's Mom, right? And you know us, we are very attached to our family.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go. So my contract comes to an end. And I'm like, before I go, though, I need to start a business. I refuse to go back and work for any corporate environment. I don't care what I'm going to do. If I have to go to people's house, and of course, I'm thinking in the Bronx, I'm like, I'm going to deal with cockroaches and rats and mouses in people's homes. I don't care. You know, because it's not the same, right? Korea versus back in the Bronx to cook. I was like, I'm not going to stay in nobody's house because at least I can commute on the taxis. But I ended up starting my business, and then I was like, I need to change the name, though. And that's when the whole name...
so where did that name come from?
So I go on Facebook, and I'm asking friends for a business name because I wanted to not make it about me, because I was like, I don't want it to have my name involved. I want it to be something else. So I'm on Facebook, and my friends, there's like hundreds of comments, people giving me ideas of names. In Korea, my friends, we're all gathering in the table, and we're coming up with names, and nothing really resonates with me. And I'm like, there's something that has to come up. Like, so I'm in class, waiting for my class to come in, and my friend posted something about next stop something, and he's Christian, so it was like a Christian post. Okay. And it said next stop something, and I was like, next stop vegan? And I was like, oh my God, like, yes, because if I go to New York, I'm gonna, you know, the subways, and then you go in the subway, it says next stop Fordham Road, next stop Kingsbridge, and I was like, every time that someone comes into my business or I go into their homes, they're getting in a ride, and every stop they're taking is towards veganism. Okay. And I was like, this is it.
That's awesome.
And
that's really awesome.
I started jumping because I was like, this is the one, next stop vegan. Yeah. And that's when it started.
You know, I have to say, that's kind of how I took your name when I first read it, especially when I was going through my own thing. I was like, I feel like this is like when you're leveling up, right? Like you start off slowly, you start cutting off certain foods, and then you start making certain meals that have less meat, less dairy, and then the next stop is, of course, just embracing veganism 100%, right?
And of course, it's like post that, you know, raw and fruition. Like you go on, but that's my purpose, is to just make you go vegan, or at least go into that vegan journey.
Right.
And then the colors came up from the metro, like the subways. I was like,
that's so great.
The D, you know, the D is orange, the red is the 1 and the 2 trains, you know, the green is the 4 and the 5 and the 6. And I kept thinking,
very cool.
When I told my logo creator, this girl is actually all the way in New Zealand. I went on Fiverr.com. Right. I paid $20, and I was like, she gave me a questionnaire. I answered it, and I was like, this is what I want. New York City subway, something with New York City, da 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 da. And then she came up with that logo.
That's
I was
amazing.
like, clean cut. I love it. Let's go.
That's so great. You know, it reminds me of how I got, well, it's a little bit different with your logo, but my logo, people ask me, they were like, how did you do the EM on your logo? And I was like, oh, I took like the E train one day and I saw the E and the M sign, took a picture of it. I was like, well, it's my name also. So perfect, right?
Fun,
Like it's, you know.
It's so simple and people think
simple.
it's so complex.
I think so. But I was always impressed with your logo, with the name of it, because I was like, Next Stop Vegan. Oh, it's like you're literally just, you know.
That's cool that you actually managed to like notice that.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I'm a little bit like I'm obsessive about how people present themselves on social media, online.
Of course, that's your.
You know, because like I see people like sometimes they'll put up a picture of themselves on their Instagram, and I'm like, is that your LinkedIn picture?
Like, why are you using a professional picture?
Why are you in a suit? Like, it should be, you know, welcoming, friendly, and really talk about your business. You know what I mean? So one of your missions with Next Stop Vegan is keeping vegan food affordable.
Yes.
Right? Why is it so important to have vegan food affordable? Because I definitely saw the price discrepancy between having, you know, so-called regular food and then trying out vegan food. And there is a big gap. So why is it so important?
It depends. I think that the stigma is that vegan or healthy food is expensive, but in reality, it's not. The reason why we kept it affordable is because we are in the Bronx. So when my sister, who became my partner later on when I came to New York, when her and I decided to actually price things or price the packages, I started with $60, you know, for 15 meals. And it was like super, super inexpensive. She's like, are you crazy? You're working for free. So when we started to price things, started to think, you know, what can people afford comfortably? I worked in corporate America. I know that I would pay $13 for a salad. Yes. You know, 12 depending on what I wanted to add.
And I think a lot
15.
of people don't even think twice about it. They just do it.
They do it because they want healthy, right? But in reality, we're in the Bronx and we cannot like dismiss that. So I was like, not all of us here in this community can afford a salad at $12. Right. We have the luxury because we go out of the Bronx into the city, right? So I was like, if I'm here and I'm catering to my family and friends, what do I want to, you know, what do I want to give them? You know, price over. I'd rather have quality over the price right now. And I was like, let me just price it affordably. When I talk to clients about how we price our food, like right now, 10 meals for us is $100 with free delivery and everything like that. Wow. You would think, oh, it's $10 per meal if you think about it, but then of course it's missing, you know, everything else. You're paying like $9 something at the end of the day. And you're paying $9 something for a home cooked meal that mom, my sister, myself, you know, my cousins, we're making for you. That's very cheap. You know, and when you go to the groceries, you can actually, with $100, you can actually buy groceries that will make you a week's worth of meals. So I always tell people, you know, you go to the grocery stores, you buy chicken or you buy eggs and you buy milk. If you go into the vegan section, or if there is a replacement of milk or even a replacement of meat in the supermarkets, it's now the corporate environment, like the corporate vegan people, the big companies, they're pricing it very similar to that. Like, you know, it's like $4 for a gallon of milk. Now the almond milk is $4.30, or maybe now it's $3.49. Yeah. You know, if you're going to buy vegan beef, it's probably going to be $4 compared. You know, so you just have to make sure that you are buying the products that are going to last long, and that are going to give you enough meals. So the vegetables, the fruits that you're buying, make it affordable, make it that they last, you know. And besides that, when you go out to eat, as well as you notice, the meals in vegan restaurants compared to non-vegan restaurants are almost the same. That's kind of when I want to hit upon that subject when we come back from break, because that's where I saw the big price discrepancy. Okay. All right, guys, we're taking a quick break. Foodie Down Bronx. We'll be right back.